Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video by yours truly. We're going to be doing a quick recap on everything the devs announced in the debut live stream for Neverness to Everness, aka NTE. But before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to their team for sponsoring this video and enabling me to bring it to your awareness. And if you end up liking what you see, don't forget to download NTE by clicking the link down below in the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section. Without further ado, let's go over these details. Starting off with their gacha system, because I do feel that to be very important. So their gacha system is actually quite impressive. There's no 50-50, so you don't have to worry about that at all. But in addition to this, they have a 1% chance in comparison to the current competitive rates in the mainstream space of 0.8 and 0.6. So beating that out, you get a soft pity at 70 and your max pity is at 90. So 20 pulls away from 90 and you already start getting those drastic increases in the chance of getting that S-class character. And your pity also carries over to all future limited boards. Also, they're doing a beginner banner where you get the 20% discount, and at the 50 pull mark, you're guaranteed a S-class character. You get to choose the character of choice, right? So they'll have several options. You'll choose the character you want. They don't just give you a random one, give you the headache of the reroll experience. But also, the 50 pulls you made don't start over when you go back to pull on the standard banner. They just transfer over to the standard banner. So you just go from 50 up to that max pity mark of 90. Also, since we're on the topic of banners, they are going to be running 2 limited boards, 2 different characters. They're going to be running the Ichi Daime, I don't know if I pronounced that right, for Nanali. And then there's going to be a second one for Hotori, which she looks absolutely amazing, bro. She can freeze time and stuff. We'll get into that in a bit. But one of the banners is only going to last for 14 days. That's going to be the Ichi Daime or for Nanali. And then the other banner is going to last for 21 days. But get this, on the Nanali banner, they're actually doing this really cool thing on the dice board where you could actually roll on this dice board and pick up Nanali's skin in the process of securing her herself, and a couple of other rewards too. Now you might be thinking, what if my luck is terrible? After a certain number of rolls, you could redeem cosmetics directly from their fair exchange shop. Now I want to talk about their weapon banner system, which seems to be pretty solid as well. You get this arc is what it's called. It's pretty much the jargon for weapons, and you can choose the particular weapon you want to go for. They're going to have a bunch of different weapons for you to choose from. You choose it, and then it's got 2 different pities. It's got a 60 pity and an 80 pity mark. At 60 pity, you're guaranteed a weapon, and I think at the 80 pity mark, you are absolutely guaranteed the weapon of choice. Furthermore, the 3% chance to acquire that weapon is a lot higher than the competitive mainstream space rates of typically 0.8 and 0.6% chance. So you have a 3% chance of getting a S-class arc weapon. Also, your pity carries over on this as well. But another cool thing that actually stuck out to me with the arc system is you can acquire the S-class arcs also through exploration and fighting bosses and stuff. Yeah, so you don't just have to get them through pulling on that banner system. Even out in the open world, you'll be fighting certain anomalies, and when you beat them, you can get their S-class arc weapon, which is, again, another way for you to get free weapons. I think one of the more cool things about their gacha system is going to be the board, though. The board is a unique way of pulling on banners because you're not just going to be getting a character. There's all types of things I'm not even aware of at this point in time. They're saying you can get these things, exchange some of them in the shop for like more pulls, more currencies to use towards banners or weapons or like gearing and stuff. Apparently, even though the game is like no 50-50, you can still have a gambling experience just getting to that 90 pity mark because of all the extra stuff they have on the dice board. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about in terms of the gacha system is they have this really cool thing that I've always wondered why games don't do this, but they're doing it in NTE. If you are duping out your characters, you can toggle them on and off. And that is something I have been wanting to see in these games for a long time. So yeah, they now have the QOL to turn off or turn on the dupes of your characters. Beautiful. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be the exploration experience, which I think is going to be one of the hugest selling points of NTE based off what I've seen in this live stream. Got some of the most jaw-dropping graphic fidelity, visual enhancements with cutting-edge technology that I've seen in quite some time. All of the scenery is going to be absolutely gorgeous, and you can switch from between third-party and first-person view, which I feel is going to add another layer through that explorative experience. Not to mention, you can take your characters on dates and go to some of these romantic spots and hang out with them. This also includes their incredible car features where you're driving around their super sweet rides with a girl on the side. You can take these characters to like the movies to watch a movie together. You can take them on the Ferris wheel. You can even get on a swing and swing around and stuff. Basically, if you're looking for that ambiance and that vibe as you're going around the city with like beautiful scenery and stuff and going on like in a dating sim, them, I actually think NTE is going to be a 10 out of 10 game for a lot of people. Another cool feature that I saw in the live stream was the droning. Yeah, you're going to be able to have this drone to control as you go around the map looking at all different types of sceneries. I feel like this droning system could potentially have more depth to it too. Maybe you'll be able to do side quests with it, and you know, the sky's the limit with what you can do with a drone, but I feel like there's a lot to expand upon with that feature and element. Now, this next one was something I ain't never seen a gacha company do. This blew my mind. We'll have to see how strong she's actually going to be in game, but this just sounds insane saying out loud. They're giving you a free character that's S class, which is like the equivalent of a 5-star. They're giving you them for free, plus all of their dupes and all of the dupes of their weapon, of their arc weapon. This is insane. So I'm curious to see how strong this character is going to be, but they basically said here's a free 6 copies and 5 copies of the weapon, and they're a 5-star. I'm so curious to see how strong this character is going to be. In addition to that, they're going to be adding in 2 brand new bosses on top of all the bosses some of you guys may have already experienced inside of the beta. For QOL purposes, they're improving the FPS of the game. And they show it a side by side where you get to see the FPS of each respective scene. One that was insane to me was the ray tracing. You really get to see the value of it when they pano it across the vehicles. Speaking of the race car heads like flipping out, there's going to be PvP, so you'll be able to race your friends in a PvP game mode, friendly mode, where you're going around the city trying to beat each other in your fancy cars, all that jazz. I actually look forward to them expanding upon this type of dynamic with other modes in the game. One of the coolest things of the entirety of the live stream was the collabs. One thing about a metropolis with this vibrant, beautiful world with all this ambiance as you're going through, even on dates and stuff, you need good music. And what better collab to do in a metropolis city like this than to do it with Persona? Yeah, that was super cool, man. I really enjoyed the Persona announcement. In fact, I was geeking out because the song that they were playing is one of the most insane songs in all of gaming. They're also doing a collab with Tower of Fantasy as well. I don't know how many tracks they're adding into the game. They only showed off 2 for Persona and then 1 like beautiful track from Tower of Fantasy, but there could very well be more. We'll just have to wait and see there, but that's still an insane collab. Lastly, just for the car heads, they're doing a collab with Porsche as well. And yeah, you're going to be able to drive a Porsche inside of their game. So not really my thing, but it's worth announcing because there was a lot of people in my chat that were actually geeking out about that, which I guess that was a report that they were car heads. Now, this was one of the craziest things I've seen like as well. They're giving up to 470 plus pulls with this launch when you do all the activities in the game. That is a ridiculous amount of pulls. But what I really respected about them is they showed how many dice you can get for standard, and then they showed how many dice you can get from the limited, but then they also tell you how much pull currency you're gonna be able to get. A lot of the times, companies don't even disclose this stuff. They just leave you in the dark, like guessing, or they'll just gas up this number and lead you to believe that it's all limited pulls and such. They were upfront and transparent about this, which was so freaking cool. So you know exactly how many pulls you can get up to for pull resources, standard, limited, and then you've got your tri keys as well, which is going to be used for your weapons, for your arc. So this was a massive W right here. Probably one of the biggest like W's that had people tripping out in the live stream. That's going to wrap it up for the main takeaways that I got from the live stream in terms of the incentives you can expect when NTE launches on April 29th, which, by the way, once again, you can pre-register the game right now by clicking the link down below in the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.